Let's discuss the transversus abdominis, which is the second muscle of your core. Now, we're starting from the same image I showed you guys with the multifidus, looking at it from the back, and we're going to peel one layer at a time, and again, to show you how deep this transversus abdominis muscle is and how it's perfectly positioned to help support and stabilize our spine. So let's peel the layers. I've highlighted it to begin with. And there's your transversus abdominis. And let me show you, let me flip this around. You see it spans the whole front of our abdomen, all the way to the side, all the way to the back. Now, what does this kind of remind you of? The size and shape of this transversus abdominis. Doesn't it remind you of a back brace? So when people ask me during my webinars and my workshops, Arlen, should I be using a back brace? Now, of course, there are exceptions. There are certain conditions where a back brace would, for a temporary amount of time, would be helpful. But for the most part, my answer to that is, why would you want to wear a brace when you're already wearing one? The transversus abdominis is the size and shape of a back brace, and it's a natural brace that's already perfectly fit for you. The problem with using a back brace is it weakens the transversus abdominis over time, and that's why you start getting dependent on a back brace. Why not strengthen the transversus abdominis? It's in the perfect position to support your spine and act as a natural back brace. Now, what is the transversus abdominis responsible for? What motion is it responsible for? I'll show you a couple of ways how you can strengthen this. The first one is similar to how we showed you with the multifidus. It's also responsible for trunk rotation, and I'll show you guys, I'm showing you the left here, the left transversus abdominis. See how similar to the motion that we showed you with the multifidus. Now, another way to strengthen the transversus abdominis is if you would hold on to your belly button while you're sitting on the front edge of your chair and just try pulling that belly button up and in without elevating your rib cage. So try not to elevate the rib cage. Don't take a deep breath. Don't inhale or take a deep breath and elevate your rib cage. Just try pulling that belly button back and in. So try pulling it in and holding it for 6 seconds. And do it as many times as you can, preferably about maybe 100 times a day. Now you might be wondering, you might be saying, Arlen, that's a lot of repetitions. Well, let me put it this way. If one repetition is 6 seconds, how many can you do in a minute? So you can do 10. So in 10 minutes time, you can already do 100 repetitions of that. Why am I emphasizing that? They did research on how many repetitions should you be doing this particular exercise before it can create a meaningful change in the strength of your transversus abdominis, and they found that it takes 5,000 repetitions. Now, before you start reacting to that number, 5,000 repetitions, if you're doing 100 repetitions a day, about 10 minutes worth, and by the way, you can do this whatever position you're in, whatever you're doing. You could be sitting, you could be standing, you could be watching TV, doing yard work, doing housework. So if you can do 110 minutes, how many days will it take you to get to 5,000? It will take you 50 days, which is about 6 weeks, which falls right in line with norms for standard strength training that's proven in the literature. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks to really gain permanent improvement in the strength of your transversus abdominis. But when's the perfect time to get started with it? Well, obviously now. There's a saying, right? When's the best time to plant an oak tree? 20 years ago or now, right? So you can get started on strengthening your transversus abdominis and your multifidus by doing this every day. For the multifidus, do about 3 sets of 24, or 3 sets of 25. For the transversus abdominis, you could do about 100 repetitions of this every day, and that should get you to 5,000 repetitions within about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the amount of time you are doing the repetitions every day. Okay? So hopefully that's helpful, and we'll continue on with the next part of our webinar.